Ever wondered how the hell American politics turned into a goddamn full-blown circus? It's a question that's been plaguing the minds of many, a curiosity sparked by the seemingly fucked-up transformation of our political landscape. From the grand ideals of our founding fathers to the dizzying shitshow we witness today, the journey has been nothing short of a damn roller coaster. So, how the hell did we end up here? What caused this metamorphosis? Let's dive into the twisted history and evolution of American politics to understand its current messed-up state. Our journey begins with the vision of the Founding Fathers. As we cast our minds back to the late 18th century, we find a group of men, visionaries of their time, laying the groundwork for a nation that would ultimately become a beacon of freedom and democracy. They were men of diverse backgrounds and philosophies, yet they shared a common goal: to create a country where power was vested in the people, where citizens were the architects of their destiny, and where government was by the people for the people. This was a radical departure from the monarchies and empires that dominated the world stage. The Founding Fathers, including such luminaries as George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, and Benjamin Franklin, among others, held a shared vision of a democratic republic. They believed in the principle of separation of powers, where the government is divided into three branches: the legislative, the executive, and the judiciary. This was designed to prevent any one branch from gaining too much power and to maintain a balance of power. At the heart of their vision was the Constitution, a revolutionary document that has stood the test of time. Crafted with wisdom and foresight, the Constitution established a framework for a government that was accountable to its citizens. It enshrined the fundamental rights and freedoms that we hold dear today, including freedom of speech and religion, the right to a fair trial, and the right to vote. However, the Founding Fathers were well aware that they were not creating a utopia. They understood that the system they were building was not perfect, that it would need to adapt and evolve with time. They acknowledged that future generations would face their own challenges and would need to interpret and apply the Constitution in novel ways. The Founding Fathers set a solid foundation, but how do we get from there to here? The answer to that question is a fascinating journey through history, a journey that takes us from the birth of a nation to the complex political landscape we navigate today. So buckle up, folks, as we delve into the twists and turns of American politics. Fast forward to the era of industrialization, a game changer indeed. This period of rapid development and mechanization, occurring roughly between the late 18th and early 20th centuries, brought about significant shifts in the American landscape. Previously, the majority of the population had been agrarian, living in rural areas and working on farms. But with the advent of industrialization, new machinery and manufacturing processes led to a mass migration towards urban areas. Cities became the hubs of economic activity, their skylines punctuated with factories and smokestacks. These urban centers were teeming with people seeking employment in the booming industries. The population shift from countryside to cities, a phenomenon known as urbanization, significantly influenced the political landscape. Industrialization also led to the emergence of new social classes. The factory owners and industrialists formed the new wealthy class, often referred to as the bourgeoisie. Meanwhile, the working class, or the proletariat, was made up of factory workers who often lived in crowded conditions and worked long hours for meager wages. These stark differences in wealth and living conditions sparked social tensions and became a focal point in politics. The growing divide between the rich and the poor, between the bourgeoisie and the proletariat, ignited political debates. The questions of wealth distribution, workers' rights, and social welfare came to the fore. New political ideologies emerged, such as socialism, which advocated for a more equitable distribution of wealth and the rights of the working class. On the other hand, the laissez-faire approach promoted by the bourgeoisie argued for minimum government interference in the economy. These debates shaped the political landscape, leading to the formation of labor unions, the introduction of labor laws, and the rise of political parties that represented the interests of different social classes. The political discourse moved away from the ideals of the Founding Fathers and focused more on the immediate needs and concerns of the urban population. Industrialization paved the way for new political ideologies and debates. Post-war politics and the Cold War period, a time of paranoia and ideological battles. Let's dive in. After the Second World War, the United States emerged as one of the world's superpowers. This newfound status, however, came with its own set of challenges. The most significant of these was the ideological war with the Soviet Union, known as the Cold War. This was not a war fought with bullets and bombs, but with ideas and political maneuvering. The United States and the Soviet Union, two polar opposites on the political spectrum, sought to spread their influence across the globe. This ideological struggle had a profound impact on American politics. In the face of the perceived communist threat, a wave of conservatism swept over the United States. Fear of the Red Scare led to the rise of politicians who capitalized on this fear to gain power. The conservative movement championed capitalism, individual liberty, and a strong national defense, positioning these as the antidotes to communism. The Cold War also sparked an arms race and the space race, leading to an unprecedented focus on science and technology. This focus was mirrored in the education system with an emphasis on math and science to compete with the Soviets. Simultaneously, the Cold War era saw an increase in government surveillance and a curtailment of civil liberties in the name of national security. This era birthed the likes of the McCarthy trials, a dark period of American history where many were accused and blacklisted without proper evidence. The ideological divide born out of this period intensified over the years. The fear of communism gave way to a fear of socialism, which continues to be a contentious point in American politics. This divide has only deepened, leading to the polarized political climate we see today. The Cold War may have ended on paper, but its influence is still felt in the political discourse and policymaking of the United States. So it's clear. The Cold War era, with its ideological battles and political maneuvering, had a profound impact on shaping American politics. It's a legacy that continues to influence the political landscape even today. The Cold War era left a lasting imprint on American politics. The advent of technology and media, politics' new best friend or worst enemy. Now that's a question to mull over. Let's take a step back and consider the landscape of politics before the digital revolution. Political discourse was largely confined to newspapers, radios, and television screens. Politicians were distant figures, their messages meticulously crafted by a skilled team of public relations experts. The public had limited access to their representatives and were often left to interpret their intentions through the veil of media coverage. Fast forward to the dawn of the 21st century. The advent of social media platforms, online news outlets, and the ubiquity of smartphones have drastically transformed the political landscape. Politicians are no longer distant figures, but active participants in the digital arena, their tweets and posts instantly accessible to millions of followers. There's a certain rawness to this interaction, a sense of immediacy, of authenticity that wasn't present in the days of old. But with this newfound power comes a new set of challenges. The very tools that have democratized political discourse have also led to the rise of populism and polarization. Social media platforms, with their algorithms designed to show us more of what we like, have created echo chambers, reinforcing our beliefs and widening the gap between different ideologies. Moreover, the digital age has given birth to the era of misinformation. In the vast expanse of the internet, fact and fiction often become blurred, leading to conspiracy theories and fake news going viral. This has not only muddled the political discourse, but also eroded public trust in institutions. So, are technology and media politics' new best friend or worst enemy? Well, it's a bit of both. On one hand, they've brought politicians closer to the public, making politics more accessible and engaging. On the other hand, they've amplified the voices of extremism, fostered division, and sowed seeds of doubt and mistrust. Technology and media have taken the political circus to a whole new level. The question is, how do we navigate this new terrain without falling prey to its pitfalls? So, what does all this tell us about the current state of American politics? We've embarked on a journey, tracing back the roots of our nation's political landscape. From the vision of our founding fathers, we've seen how the seeds of democracy were sown in the fertile soil of a newfound nation. As we moved into the era of industrialization, we saw the political landscape shift and mold, adapting to the new realities of a rapidly modernizing society. This era brought forth new challenges and power dynamics, the echoes of which still reverberate in our political conversations today. Then, we stepped into the turbulent times of post-war politics and the Cold War influence. Here, the political arena became a battlefield of ideologies, with the East and West locked in a tense standoff. This period not only shaped our foreign policy but also left a lasting impact on domestic politics. Finally, we arrived at the advent of technology and media, an epoch that forever changed the way politics is conducted and perceived. This era has given us unprecedented access to information and a platform for discourse, but it's also presented new challenges in the form of misinformation and polarization. Now, as we stand in the present, we can see that the current state of American politics is a product of its past, shaped by historical events and societal shifts. Understanding our past helps us navigate the future. After all, politics isn't just a game, it's the essence of our democracy.